Welcome, everybody. It's the 25th of August. This is Learning Chromebooks. We have about 35 people in the audience. Thank you for coming. Today, we've got, of course, this is Huey Poplick and I are both putting this on. Huey, do you have anything to say?
Never. I never have anything to say.
We're all talked out from the last show, right?
Yeah, I think I am. But yeah, it's good to be here. I have my two Chromebooks to the left of me. I have the Chromebook, the running Flex, and I have the one running the version 104 of the operating system. And you have your Chromebook. So between us, we're five of the people online.
Just to let everyone know that, and also I want to thank Jolyn for being here. She's helping us with the admissions, getting everybody admitted, and of course is a strong Chromebook user and a true techie, because she helps people with technology every day. So she certainly understands the problems and complexities that people have. We changed the format of the show a bit last month, and everyone seemed to like it. We had a brief video for you. Then, of course, we had a question and answer where if you have any problems. So the first 15 minutes, we have a video for you. And then the next 15 minutes, if anyone wants to talk about any problems they have, we can sort of sort that out. And the last half hour, we're going to go over some recent articles about Chromebooks that is being posted this month. Everyone seemed to like that. We had a good response last month, so we're going to do that again today. Before we get started, Huey, any comments that you want to make?
No, we got a lot of articles that that we posted this past month on our Learning Chromebooks channel, or not channel, but on our Facebook page. And what we have is a list of all of the articles and links to them. And then we're going to try to get to a few of them. We probably won't get to many because there's a lot of them. And between your first one and then there's a couple on printers, we're going to play a video that I did a year or two ago on printers, but it's been extremely popular on YouTube. We're going to play that as well. So it's going to be a lot of things we're going to cover today.
Great. And I am so excited about today because I get to talk about Chrome OS 104. And this truly, a lot of times when we talk about these different versions of the Chrome operating system, there's not a lot of change to them. A lot of it is behind the scenes. And now we get a new version each month. This 104 was where a lot of new cool features are. So I'm really excited about this. I know everybody, I'm going to be showing you 5 new features. You will use these features all the time. So let's get on with the video, and I'll see you after the video. Chrome OS 104. I am excited. This is a great release. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. If you're watching this as part of our Learning Chromebook series, welcome. If you're watching this as a YouTube replay, this is a monthly 1-hour presentation that Huey Poplick and I put on. It's free of charge, and you can register at www.techforsenior.com. In this segment, I do a monthly update on the new operating system. Since the Chrome OS now comes out monthly, sometimes there aren't a lot of changes. But this month, oh wow, there are some really great features. So I'm going to show you 5 new features that I am so excited, and you will use these features every day you use your Chromebook. So let's have a look at these features now. So what I want to show you today is the new productivity launcher. If you see my mouse here on the screen, you'll see that I come down here, and this is the launcher button on the lower left-hand corner of the Chromebook shelf. So let's see what happens when I click this. Yay, I got the new launcher. So if you have the old one, you'll remember when you click that button, it brings up the whole screen. You'll get a whole a whole screen menu rather than just this nice part of a screen in which you have nice curved edges and everything looks really, really pretty cool. Now, the confusing part about this is that I didn't get this when I initially got Chrome OS 104. It was in an update that I got that it was released. And as 104 releases across the board, different models of Chromebooks are getting it at different times. So this is a staged release. So you may or may not have it, but it's coming. But it's pretty cool. Let me show you a few things about this. If we come up into the search bar here, and we are going to search Google Meet. So if I type Meet in, now look what happens here. When I type Meet in, it searches it and it gives me a website. Okay, so it shows you any websites regarding Google Meet. If we come down here, it shows you in the Play Store. So it lists any Play Store searches. So if there is a app you're looking for in the Play Store, it also will tell you there. And then as you come down here, it shows you any files that you have on your computer that have that word in them as well. So this is all available for you using the new launcher. Now let's close out of this. I think this is so cool. Okay, now we're going to come over, and if I right click, we can sort by name. So we now can sort these. So all these will be sorted by name, or we can actually, I'm not sure what the big advantage is, but you can certainly sort them by color. I'm not sure why that's such a big advantage, but we'll just leave it on sorting them by name. So isn't this so cool? I think this is so neat. I just play with this all the time. I come down here, and this is the little launcher button. We'll turn it off and turn it back on. We've been waiting for this an awful long time. I hated it when it had that great big, it fills your whole screen with this tab here. So this is cool. And then if you come up to this top here and you click this little button to the top here, this is the Assistant. This is Google Assistant, and you can just ask it whatever you want, and that will give you the, and it certainly will come up with the answer. So that is the new productivity launcher in Chrome OS 104, but that will be a staged release. So you may not have it now as we move forward, but it will be coming to you before 105. This is a feature that everyone has been waiting for. You are going to jump out of your seat when you see this and clap. It is now available without a flag or any other modification and is now standard with Chrome OS 104. So what is the application? You'll be excited about this. Just watch this. So I'm going to take my mouse and I'm going to come down here, and guess what we have here? We have a date. It tells you it's Tuesday, August 23rd, 2022, and that's when I'm making this video. What happens if I click the date? We get a calendar. Isn't that exciting? Yes, I've shown that before, but that was behind many flags. Isn't that pretty? So now we can easily move between months. We can come down here and we have all our different months. But if we come back up now to August 23rd, so what type of calendar is this? Well, if we come down here, let me just take 22nd and open it up. And we had, of course, Tech for Senior at 9 to 10 a.m. This is your Google Calendar. Anything you've put in your Google Calendar will be showing up on this calendar. Isn't that exciting? Again, if we X out of this, if we come down and just hit the date again, it goes away. And if we click this, it comes back up. I think this is a great feature that we've been waiting for a long time. It also shows us that you'll always see the date now, the month and the date. And if you hover over it at all, it gives you the full date. If you come up to the top and come over to the right, if you hit the little settings button here, This will take you to the date and time setting in your Chromebook, and you have then the option to set your time zone. And mine, of course, is set for Pacific time. And you can also use a 24-hour clock if you wish to use that. So once again, if we come down looking on our shelf now, as we come over to the right, what do we see? We see the date. If we hover over top of it, it gives us the complete date. And if we click it, we actually can see a calendar. Thank you, Google. That is great. In Chrome OS 104, they have taken the theme and the colors and stepped it up a notch. I want you to look at my shelf here on my Chromebook. You'll see that it's not white. It's sort of an off-white, grayish color with nice rounded edges. Now, if we come down and we click on the little date time here, it brings up our settings menu here. And as we come up, you'll see that this is, again, the color is a bit off-white. I think the fonts are crisper, and the color, I think, is much more professional looking. If you come down here to the right side, you'll see that it says dark theme. So if we wanted to change it to dark theme, I just click the button, and this will change the theme of my Chromebook to dark mode. This is much easier to use at night, so often people want a dark mode at night. So this is currently how I have my Chromebook set for the day. Let's say that we wanted it to automatically switch. So if we come up to the screen here, and I right click on the screen, we can set the wallpaper style. And when we click this, we now have the option. You'll see, of course, my Chromebook's in light mode now, but we can set it for dark mode, or we can set it for auto. And then it's going to switch depending on the time. As it gets darker at night, it's going to switch to dark mode, and then in the day it will be in light mode. So let's look at this again. We're going to come along the shelf. We're going to click on the time. We're then going to turn dark theme off with one click. And there we have it. So you can just toggle it on or off, or you can set it for auto. New in Chrome OS 104, let's look at wallpaper and screensaver. So if we come over to our screen, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to come down and select Set Wallpaper and Style. And this brings up two screens. There's, of course, your wallpaper, and you have a screensaver option. Now this, of course, will come on if you have your Chromebook set on a desk and maybe you want a screensaver. When you're not there, you'd like a screensaver to come up. In my situation, I always close the lid when I'm finished my Chromebook. It never sits on my desk. But screensavers are important, particularly if you're in a common area. You may want to set this up. So this is, let's look at screensaver. We're going to come over here and we're going to click this little caret to the right. And guess what? If we come down and look at the bottom, we have two possibilities. We can either select an art gallery, but new in Chrome OS 104 is Google Photos. Yes, we can now select Google Photos as our screensaver. And guess what my screensaver is? Well, of course, it's the grandchildren. So let's come over, and to choose the album, all you have to do is come over and you'll see the little caret here. We're going to click this. And this, of course, brings up my Google Photos album. And you can just choose the album that you want and select it. And then you can use that album as your screensaver. So let's have a look at that again. We're going to come over. We're going to right click. We're going to set wallpaper. But we're going to come over to the screensaver now, and we're going to click the little caret, and we now have the option of choosing Google Photos as a screensaver. So now you can have all your favorite photos show up on your Chromebook like a photo album. You can actually use it as a digital photo album for your kitchen. Hey, another use for a Chromebook. Good idea. And again, this is the toggle switch. When your screen is idle, show photos, time, weather, and media information, and you can just click this or turn this off. Okay, so that's how that works. In Chrome OS 104, notifications on your Chromebook look much better. They're more professional. They have a nice rounded corner. Let me just show you how they look here. As we come down to the right, we're going to come down, we're going to click on the time. This is going to bring our menu up. And here on the top, you're going to see notifications. And as we come up here, you'll see that these notifications, of course, are waiting for me. But if they were just coming through, they would sort of slide in from the side and then come up into the waiting list here. They're also nicely rounded, and the color matches the bottom part of the screen. So the whole part of notifications is better integration. They smoothly slide in from the bottom and really accentuate the menu system of Chrome 104. This is a big improvement over the way notifications were handled in the past, which was pretty much, it looked like it had been an afterthought. So well done, Google. This is a good addition, and hopefully you'll enjoy the notifications. Well, hopefully you enjoy those 5 features. I know I'm going to be using them every day. It's Ron Brown with Learning Chromebooks, a Tech for Senior production. All right. So hopefully everybody will enjoy that. Now, I was thinking this morning about the video, and I wanted everyone to think about this for a minute. If you're coming from a PC, what you're usually doing is, if you want to do, you're working out of a browser. In other words, your browser is usually, you're in your browser, you're doing things, and if you're doing a search, you're doing it in the browser as a Google search. And that's just how we do things with a PC. But when you come over to a Chromebook, and of course the browser is built into the Chromebook, and that's part of what the launcher is meant to do. So rather than bringing the Chrome browser up and doing a search in there, if you're working through the Chromebook, you can simply click the launcher, and that does the Google search right through the launcher. So I think you need to think a little bit about that, and it'll work more efficiently for you, because that is a Google search in the launcher. And as we move forward, there will be more functionality, as there has been in this situation with the launcher, and there'll be more functionality, and it's just where all the happening is going to be. And that's that little button on the lower left-hand side. So I thought it's just a mindset that you have to think a little bit about on how you organize your activities on a Chromebook. Okay, what we'll do now, Huey, I guess we'll open it up if anyone has any questions, or you want us to show you anything on a Chromebook. We've got about 10 minutes to fill here before we get into the news articles. Or if nobody has any questions, we can move right into the news articles. Any comments, questions on anything you saw today? Go ahead, Irving.
Hi there. I have my Chromebook beside me, and I was following what you were just showing us. And when I went to the settings, okay, it only showed about half of the settings that were showing on your screen. And so what I did notice was there were 2 dots below it. And so I clicked on the second dot, and the rest of the screen came up. So if anybody has a similar problem, that's the way to overcome it, because I couldn't believe, why should you have all of it, and why should I only have half of it?
That's right. That's right. And are you on Chrome 104? Are you on the 104 version?
Yeah, I'll have the 104 on here.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Yep. You should be the same. Should be the same. But with
Ron,
most,
you
Just
have
that
a picture.
the
Ron,
display was,
yeah,
yeah, the display wasn't the same, quite
Wasn't
the
the same.
same.
and that has to do probably with the display sizes. Ron, I think you have a Pixel book and you're probably 1920 by 1080.
right.
Where Irving, you probably have a smaller
Correct.
screen. It's probably 13 something by 9 or
Yeah.
8 something. And that's
You
the
might-
reason why you don't have as much physical room on the
Right.
screen.
Good point.
That's why they
Yep.
do it that way.
Bob
Okay.
Baxter, go ahead.
So I got my Flex USB drive to work.
One,
Well,
Yeah, I heard
I
of
built
it.
one.
That's good.
I built one. I did it off my Chromebook, and now I'm trying to put that in a Dell laptop, and it doesn't want to see it. It won't react to anything. And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with whether I'm in UEFI or Legacy.
you've got to be able to bring up the choice of what it boots from. Are you able to do that?
Yes,
Okay.
but it gives me two choices. The first choice, the default choice, is UEFI, and it doesn't really give me a choice of boot sequence. If I go to Legacy, then I can pick that I want to boot from a USB drive ahead of the hard drive.
But
When I do that, it doesn't do anything. It just hangs.
I don't know what to say.
I always give you tough questions.
Yes, you do.
If they were easy, I wouldn't need you.
I think, Bob, I think that's an issue of booting on that particular model and probably the firmware that it's booting in how it boots. And I think that's probably going to be a unique situation with that physical machine.
And I know on the Google site, there are some, on the Flex site, there's a list of models that they have tested and say, yes, it will definitely work on it. And there's others that they either haven't tested or it doesn't work. And I don't know, I don't think they list those. It just, if it's not on the list, they haven't tested it yet.
So when I was trying to make the USB drive, one of the first steps is to pick a machine, which, as you taught me, is not really important for this. But interesting, I tried to type the name of the machine in, manufacturer, model number, and it said it's not on the list. And then I saw the button pick from the list, and I picked from the list, and it's right there. So I picked it off the list. I don't think it had any difference with making the USB drive.
When you make the USB drive and it says what model, what you want to choose, I believe is Chrome Flex. It's not the model of the computer. And I think if you look at the directions, I screwed that up myself a few times till I finally realized what they were looking for. So that might be why you weren't able to make the stick too.
I will try that again on the Dell, and if that doesn't give me anything different, I'll go back and see what happens if I try that on the Chromebook.
But it's still, once you make the stick, it shouldn't matter where you made it from.
I would think so, right? Yeah, I was able to look at that drive on a different machine, and it actually opens like 4 USB folders, and one of them has a list of stuff that sounds interesting. The others won't show me anything.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah, it's not going to really show you a lot. You just have to be able to start it or install it.
Right.
Thanks, Bob. Murray, go ahead.
Okay, well, I just want to mention, I did put in the chat, but when you were showing your live screen on my iPhone, at least, when you're pointing to your lower right-hand corner, I couldn't see that. It's obscured by the thing that says mute, start video, share, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm not sure why that is. That's on my iPhone, but I couldn't see it when you were pointing to that bottom corner. I know what it is anyway. And I'm running a 105 version, so
Oh, you got
I'm a little bit
105
ahead of
on
the
it.
game. Yeah,
Oh, okay. So what do
You're
you think
running
of
a beta.
105?
You're
Murray?
running a beta then.
yeah, I'm
Right.
running a beta.
So what do you think
105.
of 105? Anything interesting?
Well, I can't. I don't play with it enough to really know, but I don't.
All right.
I don't see a lot of difference, but probably because I don't use some of the features that are supposedly there. And I'm just not a big Chromebook user. I more or
Okay.
less got it so I could follow along with you guys.
Okay, thanks, Murray. Just let everyone know is that I turned all the flags off on my machine, and I'm using the current version that everyone has. So my machine should look exactly like everybody else's machine. Unlike in the past, I have turned flags on when I've shown you new features that were behind flags. But I've turned all those off. It should be exactly as you have. You should also pretty much all have Chrome OS 104 now, and we expect probably in the next week 105 will start coming out. So you should have that.
Yeah, I'm at least a third update on 105 now.
Yeah. So they're ready for that. John, go ahead.
Well, George Harding had placed a question in the chat, how to change your mouse pointer size. So I have put a little instructional paragraph there. To change the pointer size, you go to Settings, then Accessibility down the left-hand side, then Manage Accessibility Features, then scroll down to Mouse and Touchpad, and you'll see a slider that says Show Large Mouse Cursor. So I hope that helped George and anybody else who's needing a larger cursor on their Chromebook screen.
Thanks, John. I just leave mine as large now because I make so many videos. I can't remember to turn it back and forth, so I leave it as the great big pointer, and I just leave it on there now.
Yeah, mine has a big pointer and a big circle around so you can see it.
Yeah, that just drove me nuts. So I didn't do the circle, but the pointer. All right, Huey, I think we're ready to do some articles.
Okay, let me share my screen. Remember how to do that here. Share screen, share sound, and I'm going to optimize for video. No, I'll do that when I go to play the video because I did not download the video I'm going to play. Now, you'll see I'm running Edge on this computer on the PC, and I opened up all of the articles that we have that we can talk about today. The reason I did that is so when we go to the first article, I can click up here and go to Immersive, and we can see it nice and big.
Perfect. And that works well. Good job, Huey.
Okay, it says, will my printer work with a Chromebook? This is an article from Chrome Unboxed. And printing with a Chromebook once involved eye-twitching anxiety attacks. And it did, because it didn't work. And it was, you had to have Google Cloud Print. You had to install it and make sure that it would work. And it was a really pain in the butt. But fast forward a little bit and printing started to get a little bit easier. And so this article says, and then good news, as I mentioned above, many wireless printers on the market today will work straight out of the box with a Chromebook. Once you connect your printer to your wireless network, Chrome OS will see it when you try to print, and any setup that's needed is done automatically in a matter of seconds. If you're unsure whether or not a specific printer will work with your Chromebook, you're in luck. As Chrome OS continues to capture the market share, printer manufacturers have started labeling compatible printers that officially support printing with a Chromebook. So if you have an older printer, the possibility of it not working is there. HP especially lists numerous printers that have Chrome OS listed under the official supported software section of the hardware specifications. If you're looking at a specific printer and you want to find out for sure if it works with Chrome OS, you have a couple of options. First, you can check Google's official Works with Chromebook website. And in fact, I've got a thing on that coming up in one of the other articles, which lists all the devices that are lab certified to work with Chrome OS. If your printer isn't on that list, that's no reason to despair. That simply means the OEM has yet to put the printer through the official paces for certification. Thankfully, most manufacturers have started maintaining their own respective lists of Chrome OS compatible printers. And then they've got a list in this article, Chromebook compatible printers by brand, and it shows the different brands. And let's see, it's not in it. I don't see it in the article. These are other articles. Let me get past those and see if there's a list. No, that's the end of the article. You can always get one of the regular printer cables and plug it into your Chromebook. But you know, a lot of the Chromebooks only have C connectors now, so you might have to get an adapter, and it's a real pain. So it's possible, but you can do it connected if you want. But let's take a look at a video, and I'm going to stop the share. How to print from your Chromebook. Whoops. Without using. Let's see. Come on, stop, Huey. Let me go back and share my screen again. But this. Print from your Chromebook. Come on. Without. Am I sharing or not? No, I'm not. So I got to go back and share. And no, I'm in the wrong place here. Come on, Huey. Got to find my Zoom again. There we go. And share screen. And this time optimized for video, because I'm going to play it from YouTube. Share. Here we go. You can see this using Google Cloud Print. I'm Huey Poplock. This is from an article by Michael Perigo at Chrome Unboxed, and there is a link to the actual article. With Google Cloud Print going away in just a few weeks on December 31st, 2020, many of you have seen the notice plastered at the top of your Chromebook's print dialog and have reached out to ask what your options are going forward into the new year. Google Cloud Print, or GCP, was created during a time when Google needed to act as an intermediary for Chromebook users' print jobs, because many printer manufacturers, did not create drivers for Chrome OS due to its lack of widespread usage. Since that has changed so drastically in the past few years, GCP is no longer necessary, even though it will be missed. And most printers work with Chromebooks out of the box with minimal setup. Here's what happens. You go from your computer or your Chromebook or your Android device, go to Google Cloud Print, and then to the printer. Well, that's not going to be necessary anymore. In fact, it's going to be impossible after the December 31st. So, also, with many printers, you can simply buy a USB-A to B cable from your local Best Buy or computer store. Just ask for a printer cable and plug it in to print. That's what the cable looks like. You may even have one lying around your house. This is by far the easiest method for printing on your Chromebook, though the drawback is that your laptop will need to remain tethered to the printer during the process. The second easiest method, connecting your Chromebook to a wireless printer using your home network, and the cups method. For most Chromebook users, standard wireless printing with cups should be a viable replacement for the Google Cloud Print. Cups, or Common Unix Print Service, allows you to print one or two-sided pages in black and white or color, set up advanced printing attributes like stapling, paper trays, and even pin code printing management. Basically, it's what you've likely always used before GCP without even realizing it. I will recommend Google's excellent step-by-step visual simulator by Partner Dash, and here is the link. I'll give you a second to take a look at it. In order to get printing on your Chromebook, you'll need to visit the Printers section of the Settings app. To get there, all you need to do is tap on your Everything button or the search button on your Chromebook keyboard and search for it. Next, and this is very important, let's remove your GCP printer from the list of available printers on your device. You may need to remove it from Google Cloud Print web interface, but removing it locally should suffice for now. Since you no longer need it, nor can use it soon, it reduces confusion later if we just remove it now. If you want to wait until it stops working to make sure that you have to go through this, you can do that as well. Once you're in the Settings app on your Chromebook, click in the search bar at the top and type in Printing to get there. If you see your existing printer listed, tap the three dots next to it and then tap Remove. Let's take a look. Settings, Printing, then the three dots, and then remove the GCP printer if applicable. So here is my screen. I click on the Start button or the search button. And then on this, I get this coming up, and then I type in Print at the top in the search. And you'll see Printing is down below with the gear. So I click on that, and it opens up the settings and takes me to the printers. And my saved printers is strictly my Brother printer. And those are the three dots on the right. If I click on that with my mouse, it'll say Edit or Remove. And what it's saying that I may have to remove it and then reinstall it. All right, so let's connect your printer over the Wi-Fi instead. Since you're already in the printer settings, tap the little icon to the right of Add Printer. And let's go back there. Notice at the bottom it says Add Printer. A dialog box will pop up called Add Nearby Printer. So long as your printer and your Chromebook are connected to the same network, it should appear on this list. Settings, Printing, Printer icon, select printers from the list. And then you look at the list. If it's not showing, make sure that both the devices are on the same Wi-Fi and try again. If this worked, congratulations. Your printer has been successfully connected to your Chromebook. If you continue to have issues, you're going to connect it using your IP address instead. Your printer's IP address is a unique identifier that allows your Chromebook to communicate with it. To get your printer's IP address, just go to the tiny screen on the front of your printer, tap the cogwheel icon to scroll down to Network or Wireless, and then find View Wireless Details or something similar. I'm generalizing because each company buries the address under different verbiage. You can check with HP, Epson, Brother, Canon, or any other manufacturer for step-by-step instructions via a Google search. Once you locate the IP address, it can be printed out, or you can scribble it down on a piece of paper, or just memorize it, and head back over to your Chromebook. Okay, let's get back on track. So you've tapped on the printer icon and are now presented with a dialog box that is titled Add Printer Manually. Fill out all of the required fields, giving your printer a name. Enter the IP address you just found. It's usually 192.168.something.something, where the X's represent numbers unique to your printer. And then click the blue Add button at the bottom right. You can leave the protocol box and the queue as they are. On the next screen, choose the brand and model of your printer. If your model isn't listed, just find something close to it as you can. This just determines whether or not you get some settings unique to your printer in the print preview window later on. Now, click the blue Add button at the bottom right again, and you've successfully added your printer. If you're printing wirelessly for the first time on your Chromebook, you'll probably find that clicking Control plus the letter P on a document and choosing the blue Save button at the bottom right of the print preview does not send it to your printer. This is very important, and I found many people who continue to have issues do so because they've forgotten to change their print destination. To fix this, just choose the first drop-down labeled destination and change it from Save as PDF to your printer name. You may need to click See More and then choose your printer from additional dialog box that appears. It's going to look like something like this. Notice on the right, by default, it changed when you have no printer to Save as PDF. You need to then See More, and when you do, you'll see that it may say something like whatever you labeled your printer, it's going to see it, and then you click that, and you want to save that as your destination. If you followed all of the steps above, you should have a printed document coming out of your printer as you read this. Congratulations. Happy printing. I'm Huey Poplock. That's had about 24,000 views on YouTube, and I've had a lot of good comments and some questions since then. But even though it's a little bit older, it should work and to get your printer working. Any questions? Silence is good, I guess. So let's go back to sharing my screen. And we want to, let's see, close this out. Escape. And come back here and go to the next one here. Google wants to let you search for web images directly through your Chromebook's launcher and using Google Lens for desktop. Let's see, we want to go here. There we go. You can read it a little bit better. Thanks to our friend, this was in the article, we've been made aware that Google is testing new Chrome OS flag that will plug Google image search directly into your device's app launcher. More specifically, the company is testing whether or not it's viable to show you Google image search results directly in the Everything button, where you normally search for apps, files, and more. So this article goes on and says, at this time, the flag is available in the developer channel, and this was within the last month. So this may not be available to you yet, but it's coming. And so you're going to be able to do that. And that's pretty much at the bottom of the article is some other articles. So that's coming, where you can actually search for pictures on the web through the launcher. The next one is how to restart a Chromebook. And this is sometimes, you've got to play around with this, and sometimes you really need this. I've had to a few times. In fact, I even brought my Chromebook into the Geek Squad at Best Buy because I couldn't figure out how to get it to boot up. It was in a black screen. And one guy said, well, we got to send it back to the factory, young guy. And this older fellow said, who I'm sure has had more experience, said, no, here, let's try something. He held the button in for about, he said, hold it in for about 10 to 12 seconds, the start button, and then let go of it, and it should restart. And bingo, there go my computer work, and it worked. And so I didn't have to send it back to the factory. I didn't have to pay $200 or pass go. So if your Chromebook stops working correctly, you can fix the issue with a restart. And here's how to restart a Chromebook. They're great devices for people who need to surf the web, send emails, and do like word processing. However, Chromebooks do have advanced features available if you need them. But just like any computing device, you need to know how to restart a Chromebook periodically. Restarting the device is especially important if it's not functioning correctly or freezes up while you're working on it. So if it's frozen, pressing on any keys doesn't work, and you can't just unplug it because there's a battery in it. And so it's just unplugging it doesn't help either, like it would be with your desktop. So restarting a Chromebook is straightforward, but it's different than restarting your PC or Mac. For example, the Chromebook doesn't have traditional restart button, and we'll show you what to do. So how to start a Chromebook. Restarting a Chromebook means powering down the device and turning it back on. The main reason for this is that Chrome OS can quickly shut down and boot back up. There are a couple ways to restart your Chromebook. First, we'll start with the on-screen option. So you click or tap, if you have a touch screen, the clock in the taskbar to the right corner and open the quick settings panel. Next, tap the power button icon from the quick settings menu, and you're seeing the arrow right there, and this will immediately shut down your Chromebook. Wait while the Chromebook is powered down entirely. After that, press the power button, and on some Chromebooks, it's on the keyboard, some it's on the right hand or the left hand side of your Chromebook. You'll have to know your instructions for your particular Chromebook, how to turn, where the power button is, and then go ahead and click the power button and turn it back on. Now, holding your power button in to restart it doesn't always work. Just tap it once and then let go of it. And then give it time to start up. So sometimes if you hold it in for a while and then let go, it won't restart. But if you hold it in just for a moment and then let go of it, you'll and wait a few seconds, you'll see the screen change color a little bit and then the screen come up. So another way you can restart your Chromebook is by using a physical power button. To restart the Chromebooks with the power button, do the following. Press and hold the power button until the shutdown menu appears on the screen and click shutdown. Once completely powered off, press the physical power button again to boot it back on. Now, whichever one of those methods you use to restart your Chromebook, once it comes back, you'll need to sign back in with your account credentials. However, most devices have an appropriate option to restart them. For example, you can restart a Roku, as we previously mentioned, and this was in another article. You can restart Windows 11. So basically, either do it those couple of ways. If it's totally locked up, hold your button in for at least 10 to 12 seconds, then let go of it and wait, and you should see it go through the motions and do the restart. Let me stop share and see if there's any questions or comments. And I want to mute for a moment to clear my throat.
The only question I see, Huey, is Gail West is asking if you could put that link to Partner Dash that was in the video. Could you put that in the chat?
If not, I can at least have the link for the video. I've got a list of all the links.
Okay, at huey.net?
No, it's just in a file and I'll have to go get it.
Okay.
And I'll copy it and I'll paste it into the chat box. Now, let me do that now. Ron, you want to talk for just a minute and then I'll bring up the next item. But in the meantime, let me go get that list.
You want to bring up the next article now, and then I can
Well,
just
no,
talk
because
about
I gotta use that same screen. So just see if there's any other questions or.
Okay. Any questions, Richard? Go ahead. Unmute yourself and
Yeah. How do you unmirror the camera? In other words, right now I'm showing, it shows me as my right arm is up, but it's actually my left. So I gotta flip the camera somehow in here.
oh, that's just in
Because I'm not-
settings. That's in
Zoom.
it's in a Zoom setting. That's in under go into video in the Zoom settings and just unmirror it or mirror it to whatever you want. It'll change that. Just go into settings and go into the video. It's a Zoom feature.
So where do I go and get into the settings for
Just
Zoom?
Down below at the bottom where you see stop video, there's a little up arrow, little carrot where you see stop video. If you click on that and then click video settings, which is just above it.
I'm doing that now. Oh, it says enable mirror effect. I don't want that. So I unclick that.
Yes, uncheck mirror my video. That's all you have to do now. X out of that settings, and you should be,
Yeah,
Yep.
that's good.
there we go.
There you go. Huey, you're back.
No, I thought I could just copy and paste it. For whatever reason, it's not working. I got to save it into a file, and then I'll share the file. So just give me a few more.
Ron, do you want to talk about, I've got the link to the, all of the shortcuts for Chrome OS. And one of the things we were talking about at Tinkering with Tech was the screenshot and
Oh,
how,
right, yeah.
and along the top row of buttons on your keyboard or keys on your keyboard, there is one that is called Show Windows, and it's a little
It's the
rectangle.
overview. It's the overview button.
Okay.
I think it's called the
According to
overview. Yeah.
according to Google, it says it's called the Show
So
Windows
Windows.
button.
Okay.
So, here, let me just do this real quick. This is really cool because, let me just get that right there. Let's see if I can, yeah. See if this will go in the chat, right? Yeah, it's not going to show the image that I put there, but okay, so there we go.
What is it? Is it control in the overview? What, I can't remember what's the
It's
combination?
to press Control plus Show Windows. So Control, the Control key. Come here, come back here. Oh my goodness, it just shut off on me.
It's the control key plus the show windows, or what I call the overview key.
Mhm.
At the same time, or just one sequence?
Control, it's a key combination.
Key
So,
combination. Yeah.
Control plus Show Windows.
And that takes a screen capture of
That will allow you to take a full screen capture. Control Shift Show Windows brings up the option to do a portion of the, select a portion of the screen.
Right.
So it's because if you cannot, if you wanted to show a menu, like take a screenshot of a menu, you show the menu as soon as you go to open the screenshot, the menu disappears.
Right.
So this is a way.
That's right. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Good combination. Huey, are you back?
Yes, I am. And what I did, it wouldn't let me copy and paste the whole list. So I did it in a couple of messages, and I only did some of the articles, but probably more than what we'll get time to cover.
Okay, but it was specifically, she was asking about the partner dash link.
And that
was in the video. That was in the video.
The video is linked there, so she can go back to the video and get it. I don't have that handy.
Okay.
I have to go back into the video.
Let's get on with it. Let's do the next article.
Keep on going.
Okay, so share screen. And so there's my list. I'll leave it up there for a second. So anybody, you want to take your camera or just do a screenshot. Those are all the articles. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that. And don't save it. And that's that. So let's go to the next article here. And
oh, just what we were talking about.
Well, this is a screenshot of your Chromebook's login screen. So sometimes you want this login screen, you want to get a screenshot of you doing an article on Chromebooks or something. It's possible because you're not signed in, you can't really do a screenshot easily. So it doesn't come up often, but there may be times when you need a screenshot of your Chromebook's login page, whether it's to capture an error message or to have a clean image for your documentation. Most of the time, people resort to just taking a picture of it. However, there is a better way. The good news is you can now take a screenshot of your login screen the same way you would any other page on your Chromebook. The difference is that the screenshot will not be saved in your downloads folder as a regular one does, but rather as a temporary directory. And here's how you can capture it. You take the screenshot by holding the control and then pressing the overview key, and that's the one with the box and then the two lines next to it, or the F5 key if you're using a non-Chrome OS keyboard. Next, when you log into your Chromebook as usual, you proceed from there. Once you're logged in, you open the Chrome browser and type in file, colon, 3 slashes, TMP slash into the address bar, and you'll see it. Then it'll take you to a directory where the files are temporarily saved on your Chromebook. Scroll down to the list of files. I'm going to show you this in just a second. Find the one that begins with the name screenshot, followed by the date and time of this file creation. Click on the file name and it'll open the image inside the browser. Now, once you have that image open, you right click on it and save it to your favorite location, because that'll ensure that you will keep it permanently, as temporary files are, as their name implies, only available temporarily. Every time you boot, there's a new set of files in that. So let me come over to my Chromebook and I'm going to share my screen. Oh, wait a minute, I'm sharing over here. So let me stop that share. And then let me bring up my desktop and click that and say share. So you should see my Chromebooks screen now. You do. And now what I'm going to do is come open up Chrome. And then in the address bar, I'm going to type in file, colon, 3 slashes, TMP, and slash again and hit enter. When I do, there's all the temporary files that it used to start up my Chromebook. And one of them says screenshot. When I click on it, there is my login screen as a screenshot. And then I can right mouse click on that. And it said, and I just didn't, it's not happening. You're supposed to be able to right screen. All right, it's not doing it.
Huey, you've got a magnifier on your cursor, so there must be a setting from
Let's try it.
Zoom or
And that's my right mouse button is set to do that. I'm not sure why, but I should be able to then save that somewhere else, and then I'll have it. So you can do a screenshot of that particular sign-in screen, especially if it comes up with some kind of a notice. If you want to grab it, if you got an error message, you got some kind of a thing, it's saying that something's not working right, you can do a screen capture of it, continue to boot if it'll allow you to boot, and then go back and find that screenshot. So it's a way of getting that screenshot. Any questions on that? How are we doing on time? That's about it.
We had
Ron.
2 minutes left. So
Let's
if
see.
you want to do one more article, we've got to be quick
Well, yeah,
about it.
let's take a look at those articles and see what we've got. And so let's go to the next article, and it's, wouldn't you know, it's right underneath my camera here, so I can't see it. What can I do with an outdated Chromebook? Okay. A lot of people ask about this, and let's see what they say. Best answer: when your Chromebook stops getting updates, you can still use it. However, you'll miss out on updates that can add new features, and most importantly, might be able to protect your device from malicious software. What gets updated? So let's see, if you buy a new Chromebook, you can expect about 8 years of automatic software updates. These happen in the background and are applied when you start your Chromebook up. You might not even know they're happening, but they're there. Folks tend to place a lot of weight on these updates, and even some of them use as part of buying decision process. The longer the lifespan, the better the Chromebook. Now, you see, updates can be essential as they are for your phone. For the same reason, too, they're security fixes. On a Chromebook, however, the browser is baked into the system, at least for now, because there have been talk about it being separated. So this means that Google can update your Chrome version without you updating the software on your Chromebook. Most Chrome updates are functional, whether they're addressing a need or adding a new feature. They often fix a software exploit or two, though, which is much more important. And so there's some videos mentioned here and so on. So what happens when you no longer receive updates? first thing you do if you're using your Chromebook for school or work, or if it's supplied by your school or your job, is to check your IT department, see if you're even allowed to keep using it. If it's your personal Chromebook, you need to know that it's never going to see any new software features, bug fixes, or more patches against malicious software. The last thing probably is you're most worried about, it's not going to be a worse experience, it just doesn't get any better. Your Chromebook will keep working exactly the same tomorrow as it does today. So it still has plenty of safeguards like a verified boot to make sure the software hasn't been tampered with. That's important to remember. It also is important to note that many smart people spend a lot of time trying to get around the secure boot safeguard. Sometimes they can, and if that happens, you're not protected. The same thing goes for hardware flaws. Now, some people say, well, what about using Flex with it? Well, in order to use Flex with it, most Chromebooks have built into the motherboard a security screw. And if you got to take apart the whole thing, you unscrew that and hope it will still work. Then you can update you may be able to update the operating system with Flex, but you may not be able to. So whether or not you want to spend the time and the effort and it still not work, at that point, you definitely aren't going to be able to use the thing again. So in essence, you can keep using it. If you want to be totally secure, it might be time to look for a new Chromebook. And with that,
I think that's about it.
yep.
Hey, Huey, I find I've converted a couple Chromebooks to Linux and they work very well.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're able to, with a Chromebook, install Linux and then use the Linux.
Right. You've got to go to somebody called Mr. Chromebox, and he's got the files to get into the BIOS to change it over.
Okay, but that's different than putting OS Flex in. That's a much more involved thing that it really. Even I am not going to attempt it. And I've got an out-of-date Chromebook it's got a touch screen that I really would like to use, but I'm still using it as a Chromebook, but it's being outdated and it's not being up.
Right.
Everyone for coming. We will have this. This is of course being recorded. He will get me the recording this afternoon. I should have it up on our site probably later on this evening or early tomorrow morning, and you'll get the notification out to everyone. Have fun with your Chromebook this next month, and we will see you in 1 month from now, right, Huey?
Yep, and I'm going to be working on a new presentation, updating an old presentation on exactly what is a Chromebook and why you should be using it and so on for a group. And so I'll have that ready, I hope, maybe by next month, and at least be able to point to it. It's probably going to be an hour presentation, so we probably won't show it here. But for those of you who are new to Chromebooks, it might help you, or if you're thinking about it, it may help you decide what kind of a Chromebook to get and what you're looking for when you buy a new one.
Okay, thanks everyone for coming.
Hey guys,
Till we see you again. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody.
so long.
Colin, thank you for your help. And thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.